The new the Perez waifu, the new the Perez cheeky girl, it's finally here. So let's talk a little bit about Blanchet. I put for her earlier, we were on a stream testing a little bit if you want to go check the board as well. And I want to talk about first impressions on her, how she's feeling, where she most likely will end up being on the tier list, and a little bit of the damage number comparisons with Jomi and with Kidian and also with Shion. So as usual, before we start, hello the internets, welcome back to the Waifus. I'm Sefhi, your favorite gambling addict, and today's topic, Blanchet. Pretty cute girl, I like her a lot, honestly. I got her skin the moment she dropped. I was like, okay, I need to get her. Couple important things before we go into the full review. You can get Blanchet directly on the personality banner. If you don't want to be pulling on the normal banner, it's easier to get her here because it's 100 pulls versus 200 for exchanging, assuming the worst luck, and then you have 2 PT, but still, it's still cheaper assuming hard PT to pulling here than to be pulling on the normal banner itself, right? So that's the first thing. Second thing, before we talk about her card, her kit, and everything else, is that she's not a fantastic character for the A club, which is, you know, as you all know, one of the big reasons to be pulling for characters as well is if it's worth pulling her or not. If you check Bibi and you check Blanchet, it's the same thing. It's a trap, okay? Bibi sucks for plastic, so Blanchet is not a great character either for this. But still, plastic-wise, there is a few options that are pretty good. And everyone has Sunny, which is the best plastic farmer either way, so that's fine. There is no reason to be pulling her for the A club. But damage number wise, she's really strong. She's pretty good. She's pretty good. Okay, really strong. She's like a similar to a Kidian or a Shion, depending on the investment and depending on the stage and depending on the items. But she's around that same level, right? A little bit weaker than those two, but can catch up depending on investment and on content. So those are the things to talk before we go into the full review. That's it. Let's talk a little bit about her and her card as well. So for some reference, she is 3 stars. She is rank 8, no gear. Everyone in my account right now is rank 8, no gear. Okay, like I just went and rank up everyone for the extra combat power. So rank 8, no gear itself. She has skills 10, 10, 10 at the moment. I am not taking them any higher. And she has her first board basically maxed out, minus some defense that I just don't care too much. So I'm not going to be taking that node right there. She has an HP node and she also has a nice crit node. So her board is decent. HP and crit are really good stats, desirable stats that you are working towards as a new player, right? When it comes to her kit, everything revolves around ricocheting and magical damage. So as you can see, it's single target, but it does ricochet, so it's gonna be at the end of the day AoE magic damage, right? Her senior skill is exactly the same thing, another rose that will be ricocheting even more while also applying silence, which is really good for raids. And this is gonna be really nice on the next raid we are getting because it's going to be weak to the press characters. And then her passive increases her own skill damage. This already tells you what items are going to be great for her, right? Anything with the skill damage is good for her. Even Battle's card for the enhanced damage is good for her. Items that increase attack, the usual ones obviously, right? Like the Dragonlight Sword. And any item that increases magic damage is good for her. In fact, her own item is good for other magic damage dealers. So her card is pretty nice. It's a pretty nice card, I'm gonna lie. Her card has crit and crit chance, which is not the best stats, but it's not the worst. But the good thing about this card is the passive itself. Reduces the magical defense of enemies by 3.5% for 8 seconds whenever the beater freshman skill lands on them. Max 9 stacks, and this doesn't stack if you have multiple cards. At max level, it's a 5%, I believe, of magical defense reduction. This means all of your magic damage dealers can benefit from this, which is going to be really strong when it comes to debuffing bosses for raids. If, obviously, once again, you are running a magic damage dealer as your main damage dealer. So if your main character to do damage is going to be your Erpin, your Jomi, it's going to be characters like Aya, like Blanchet, all of those characters will benefit greatly from this card, right? That's great. And then the passive itself, that the unique passive for Blanchet, it's also pretty nice. It's a passive that will make it so when you are using your freshman skill, it's going to be throwing an extra rows, which are also enhanced ones, so they will benefit from items like the Butter card, for example, and they are really strong. So you have your own rows from your freshman skill, plus now the enhanced version with this, and she's doing pretty good damage. Now, that said, enough ranting about that. Is it worth pulling Sefhi? Is she gonna be replacing anyone on the main composition for the press at the moment? Yes, she is. So when it comes to the press, they are the strongest personality by far in the game, just because of Jomi. Jomi is stupid character. So anything they release that can be good for this team will only make them stronger. Right now, you can completely remove Posher from your team and have 4 DPSs in one team, 2 supports and 1 tank, because Jomi will act as support and DPS, right? So you could be running this team, no problem at all. Obviously, if you have issues surviving, you can remove either Kidian on the front line if she's dying too fast, or Blanchet or Xion, depending on the stage and what you're doing. But this composition is anything you need right now for the press, and they are by far the strongest team, thanks to Yomi, once again. So they are only getting stronger because of this. When it comes to her damage numbers, I've been testing mostly here on Dig side. I haven't checked PvP. I don't do PvP that much, you guys know this. And we'll be able to test next week on Dimensional Clash to see how strong she is. But as you guys can see, the next one is going to be Vivacious. So the press characters are going to be strong on the next one. Unless it's an annoying enemy, it should be fine. That's it. When it comes to damage numbers themselves, there is a lot of things that we were testing. These are basic tests. Don't take this as that is her damage in contrast to the other characters. 1,000 different factors when it comes to damage numbers in Trickcal. So mostly Dig side, we started with 1 item on each. As you can see, both unique items for Jomi and Blanchet, and they were doing well. Jomi being Jomi, and then Blanchet doing 11 million versus 9 million on Xion. Xion has a hard time on Dig side ramping up her damage because there is not enough time. Enemies just die too fast. So she has issues with that, right? But still, 11 million already, it's really solid damage, really solid damage. Then 1 item on all of them, once again, putting a cake, putting a dragon light, and the battle card on Xion, and they were doing 14, 11, 9. Similar thing here, running a double J Codex on Blanchet and a Dragon Light plus Mithril on Xion, things like that. And she's doing 11, 13, 14 million damage. Then we got her to do 15 million by running actually a J Codex for skill damage, which is her own passive, plus her own unique item, and she was doing 15. So that was pretty good items for her. She got 19 million here doing Battle Card plus a Dragon Light, really good. But overall, pretty similar damage. The best cards for her are gonna be anything with magic attack, with the enhanced damage, and also with the skill damage as well. I would say the J Codex is maybe not the best one to be putting on her because there is more value on running the Dragon Light Sword or the cake directly, or the battle cards. For the next raid, in my opinion, I think the best combination to be running on her is gonna be her own card, a cake, and then lastly Battle's card. Those 3 items on her most likely will make her the hyper carry for the next raid and be able to compete with Xion and Kidian no problem, if not directly out damage them because of the magic defense reduction, right? So that's basically it for the cards and for a little bit of her damage and how she's behaving right now. Would I pull for her and her card? Yes, absolutely. If you are building a depressed team. If you're not building a depressed team at the moment, you can skip Blanchet, and what I would recommend instead is that you pull for the card 1 copy. I wouldn't go for the level 3 because as usual it just increases stats for her, right? But if you can get a copy of the card, this will help every single team available right now because all of them have good magic damage dealers. So I will say get a copy of the card if you are not building a depressed team. When it comes to the tier list, it's not updated yet. It will be updated later today, so you guys can check later on the website and it should be updated. But I am expecting her to either be a T1 character or a T2 character. Other changes that I have planned for this update on the tier list are most likely, maybe, I'm moving leads up. I'm not 100% sure yet. And then SP is going to be going down because SP is good, but it's a niche character. Like she is just a raid unit, nothing else, right? A bossing character. So that's basically like the 3 changes we might be making. You can expect Blanchet to be at least a T2, T1. You can expect SP going down and maybe leads going up. I don't know yet about that one. So that's basically it for the character itself. When it comes to the artifact card, I'm not sure where I want to put it because this is a pretty strong card for magic damage. It is a pretty powerful card considering you can just debuff any boss and get, you know, a 5% per stack at 9 stacks is really strong. So it's at least a T1 card, if not maybe going up. I will see because it's a little bit more limited, right? It's not limited towards only those magic damage dealers, but just like the cake up here. So it's a pretty strong card. I will say pull for the card rather than the character if you don't care about the press girls right now. But yeah, everything will be updated later on the website. As usual, we are live every single day. Any questions you guys have, feel free to leave a comment down below. Good luck with your pool, the internets, and I'll see you on the next one.